democracy. You know, Biden has called this democratic forum a few months ago. So I'm sort of making clear where I stand on the election, but I hope Brazilians at least see that that's the case and they choose democracy.
Well, the country did choose democracy. This program was made in 2022. But Jair Bolsonaro, true to his threats, attempted to undermine the new government. And this month he was sentenced to 27 years for plotting a coup. On the face of it, it looks like Bolsonaro's career is over. However, he remains one of the most consequential politicians of recent decades. Before we take you back to the BBC. Eastern Standard Time, 4 o'clock in Central Australia. It's 3:30. In the West, 2 o'clock.
You're listening to ABC News Radio.
Kiev has come under heavy bombardment in what independent monitors say is one of the biggest...
Okay, here we go. YouTube has a funny idea about the time, doesn't it? So that started a good minute before the 4 o'clock news, which is broadcast live. So, yeah. And last week, it thought about it for 5 minutes, didn't it? Okay. So, as you can see, there's a still an Akai or Akai. Was it A240 or something like that? Was the AA 1040, and I'm still having trouble getting the sound through the preamp. So it's down there. Don't know whether you can see down there with this camera, but it's it's just not coming through. I've checked all the transistors, I've checked all the switches, I've changed most of the capacitors, the resistors are all good. So I just don't know what's wrong with it. So, but as you can see, it is feeding a signal into, I'll take you over to the other camera. And yeah, so you can see there, that's the oscilloscope feeding the signal.
And there are still small startups who seek to export their new medicines to the US, but they may well be hit. So I'm not saying there's nothing in this, but we are trying to understand the exact scope and impact of it a little better.
So it's picking up both channels on the input, but nothing is coming out the output, which is at the that's at the other end of the board. So, okay, just give me a couple of minutes to disconnect this, and we'll start the other radio. Just be very careful disconnecting these probes. Don't want to short anything out. Yeah. So the Sony, which I have, where's the down here? Yes, it worked for 30 years on a timer, which I did have here. Oh yeah. So it was working on this timer for 30 years, and I had a lamp connected to it as well, and it would faithfully wake me up in the morning, run for an hour, switch off, then same thing at 10 o'clock at night, would run until midnight and then turn off. And it was reliable as anything, and I used to take it to work for a couple of years, and the only time I didn't use it was when I was in America for 6 months traveling around, and then it was posted or was shipped to me with all my winter clothes and my laptop, which didn't survive the trip, and everything that I needed to work in London. So yeah, then I came back and it ran for 5 years, and I put it away 10 years ago and unpacked it, and yeah, it's not working, so we'll have a look at it. Oh, yes. Just change over here. And, yeah. So I'll have a look at that in a second. Now this is let's move this camera around a bit. This is a Mitchell's light globe, and anyone in Australia who knows Mitchell's, they used to make brushes, and I think I think you can still get brushes branded Mitchell's, and this says the brush people on it. So yeah, it's a new globe, yeah. Don't know quite where I got this from. I think this is from the very, very late 60s or something like that. My parents had it when I was clearing out the garage and all my father's stuff. I found it. So yeah, I thought I'd lost that. Okay, so here's the radio. It's a bit worse for wear, and we'll move these scope leads before we pull everything down. Yeah, so this is it, and this is the top. So you can see it's got AM bandwidth and FM sensitivity. So the AM bandwidth is wide and normal, and the FM sensitivity is distant and local. Then we have the band here, AM stereo, and FM stereo. And that is going to drive me up the wall if it's going to do that all the time. On the side here we have the mode switch, or the AM stereo mode switch, they call it. A DC in 4.5 volts, and negative is center. I don't have the power pack for this handy, and the one I often used, it's in bits at the moment because I'm changing the capacitor in it, and the capacitor I got is the right value, but it's too big. Then there's the headphone socket there. On the back this one hasn't yellowed as badly as some I've seen on the internet, but it's still yellowed quite a lot. My name there in Texter, and on the bottom we can see the model number and the stereo mode. So Harris Magnavox Motorola compatible, which is Qualm or something. I don't know. And then Cairn Hazelden, which the company kicked up a big fuss because apparently the FCC in America couldn't decide on a system, so they just let the market go, and then they decided that the Motorola system had won. Okay, even though it's pretty scratched on the face, we'll put this down here. And we'll open it up. So I'll go back to the other camera. And we'll need to adjust it, of course. Yep. There's that. Is it okay? Yep. Right. So we'll try open. Actually, first we'll try some batteries in it. Yeah, the battery terminals are spotless. I'll be very surprised if this works. Actually, wouldn't you know it, it works.
Whether or not these parties would fit to stand, essentially. The allegation is that they have been receiving illicit funding, and the suggestion is that that's linked to Russia. But certainly they were both banned at the very last minute. I think it kind of underlines the tension around this election. Certainly it underlines, how much concern there is about this vote. Whether or not it affects the result, possibly. Certainly it's a couple of parties. One of them in the main is called the Patriotic Bloc.
The last day, but wow, not bad for the teenager. Love it. Youngest man. Drive for the big time grand final moment here. Brisbane back out by 7. Back in the middle, Stacks on the middle, but there's a free kick. It's a hold. It's going Mullins' way.
Okay. Well, yeah. So that is 774 in Melbourne. So it's a very sensitive set. I've forgotten how sensitive this is. And of course, there's only one stereo AM stereo station in Australia left, I think, if it's still operating, and that's a station up in Queensland somewhere. Okay, so I'm curious to see what's inside this. It looks really packed. I mean, it's quite a solid radio. Okay, so we'll take the batteries out. So 40-year-old radio, and it works perfectly. Oh, yep. These have never been out. Okay. So that's a bit of an anticlimax that it works. I'll have to find a radio that doesn't work. It still needs a bit of a service though. And we'll check, make sure that there's no leaking capacitors or anything like that in it. I had the strap for shoulder strap and the box and everything for it, but when I was away I stored everything under the house of my parents' place, and my sister decided to use the boxes and took everything out and threw away a lot of the empty boxes and things like that. Why is this not going in? There we go. That nice click of Virgin Electronics. Okay. I don't know how this comes off, obviously. Oh, it really is packed tight in there. Not sure how this comes apart. It's quite tight. Actually, no, I see. You have to take the tuning wheel off. Try this. Aha. No, you don't have to take it off. And it's pretty dusty in there. Oh, you do. How strange. And okay. Oh, I have taken it apart. Okay. So I've written my name in there. And the date. May 1984. Yeah, so that's more the colour it used to be. It was sort of white, and yeah, it's gone a bit yellow. Yeah, I must have taken the back off and secured it. Okay. Ooh, wow. Yeah. This really looks like mid-80s Sony, early 80s Sony, doesn't it? What's that doing there? Is that oh, that's the carry handle. The front doesn't want to come off. Oh, I see. So we've got a tab there. Don't know how fragile this is going to be. We've got 2 tabs down here holding it in and one up here. It doesn't seem to want to move. I wonder if you could move this one. That is really quite solid. Oh, I see, there's a screw there. Pretty much camouflaged. That one under there. Yeah, you have to remove that screw. I couldn't find the service manual on this easily. I could find a couple of copies, but they were on charge sites. In other words, I had to pay for it, but I wasn't going to do that. And that is really, really tight. This one going to fit? Yeah. Don't want to break any of this. There we go. Is that coming out? Yep. This is really tight for such a small screw. I really didn't want that to come out. Is it going to move? No. That is coming up. Just wondering, because this is separate chassis. Ah. Clever. So this all comes up. Or does it? Well, it does come up. I'll just take the knobs off, I guess. Okay. That's the idiot next door. With his stupid cars. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of dust on this. Sort of, yeah. I'll have to give this a good clean, I think. Ooh, yeah, down there. I don't know whether you can see that. Probably not because it's black on black, but there's a lot of dust down those controls, although they're sealed. Looks like Alps ones, actually. They're really high quality Alps. Okay. It's going to come out now. What's stopping it? Something up here. And those switches by the looks of it. No? This camera moved again, hasn't it? I really can't work out how to tighten that any further. And it's proper Manfrotto version too. Not good. Oh, okay. So the ferret antenna is behind there, and it's hitting this. So, how are we going to get these switches out? It all comes out in one go. Do that. And this should just sort of lift up and then pull out. Maybe it does. Okay. Let's use a little bit of force. Maybe. We hooked up down here. That didn't sound very good, did it? We've got a bit of length on that wire. Okay, so all right, we're snagged on this yellow wire, and the soldering iron's gone to sleep. And the orange wire too is really tight. Okay. Right. So it looks like we have to remove this wire here. And how do we do that? Put it back in. Remove this tape. Okay, so I'm going to take a photo of this. Okay, it's got, they look like they're shorted. How strange. So I don't know whether you can see that or not. There. They seem to be shorted. But it's definitely stereo. Don't know how they did that. Right speaker, left speaker. Yeah, okay. So we'll take these off. Oops. Move these cords out of the way. The soldering iron. Maybe they're not actually very, very close. Yeah. Okay. So right, she's out. Or it's out. Don't be sexist. Now, oh yuck! What a load of rubbish! What a load of dust in here. Okay. Do you believe they're Alps, those volume and tone controls? Yeah. How fancy. Okay. So this is what it looks like underneath, or at the front of it. Okay, so that's where the power comes in. So just sorry about my head. Well, I've got a lot of capacitors underneath here. No, it's not separate. Yeah. Maybe not as many as I first thought. There's a few under there. And these are Ruby Con as opposed to Ruby Un. Although I think it might have been the same company and just the C looks like an O. Yeah. No SMD parts yet, but there is quite a few very small resistors. In fact, all the resistors are tiny. I don't know whether you can still buy those or not, but if you look there, all those around there, yeah. Okay. So first thing I'll change is this one here that's sticking out if I've got the value. So again, I'm running low on certain ones. So that's the power supply. So 6.3 at 220. Okay. Now I'm just wondering if I should disconnect anything else, but no. Oh geez, that's really filthy down there. I'm going to have to get the brush onto this one. There's my soft brush. This one will do. Good shaving brushes are great for this sort of thing. I do have a makeup brush in there too. It's really, really soft. I'll take those off and clean them. Just want to get the majority of the dust out of it. Wow, these drivers are very, very flat. There's no depth at all to the cone. Interesting. Okay, so what was a 6.3 at 220? 6.3 volts at 220. So we'll do that one. I do have some 6.3s, plenty of them, but for maybe not. It's got to be short, hasn't it? Oh, okay. No, this is right. These are 16 volt ones. I've just put my little cutters. Had them before. Ah, there we go. Right. So we'll see how easy this is to solder. Yeah, this seems to be the input stage capacitor down here. And there's 3 there actually. So it's closest. And negative is to the pack thing. Must be, use those tight, those gaps. Okay, this is 6,652 serial number, so it's a fairly early one by the looks of it. Now, just out of curiosity, yeah, these are much the same size. This is the 16 and this is the one that's come out of it. And just as a matter of interest, remember this is over 21 years old, 41 years old I should say. We'll just see what the value of this is. Oh, 194. Oh, hang on. This is a 220, isn't it? So 194, it's gone down. Interesting. So it's lost capacitance. And we'll try the other one just in case the little machine is lying to us. I think this is lying to us. Oh no, that's at 330. And that won't be any good, will it? What's it doing in the 220 draw? Okay. So what are these? Actually, these ones will go in there. I think. Yeah, we'll just have to be really careful because I don't want this fouling on the speaker. So this hangs off the edge of it. So I'll clean this up. Put a bit of flux on there, I think. Yeah, that's cleared it. Looking very nice. Where did I put that? Okay. Good. I'm going to take the insulation off of this. On this one. Where's it going to? Yeah, it could foul. I've cut those leads slightly shorter so as it'll bring it into the board a bit more. So tiny. Okay. to do this. I really need 3 hands for this. That is going to fall out. If I can put it down on the magnet. No. Sorry about my big head. Until I do this. In fact, I might even try the other camera. Oh, bugger. That isn't going to work. What about this? I need something to keep the leads of the capacitor in place. How would Graham do this? Okay, there we go. Now sit for a moment. Yeah, okay. I don't know whether you can see. Let's bring this down a bit. Yeah, is that any better? We've got a bit of glare on the board, haven't we? Okay, we'll try that. Now it's up around here, so I just want to put a bit of solder on it that I can position it properly. This is just an experiment to see if I'm making any improvement. Okay. Okay, good. So, what I'll do is I'll reconnect the speaker up. Right. Now how are we going to connect our positive? Okay. So we can put a lead onto that. So I'll just turn on the external power supply. Okay. What are we on? 5 volts. Okay. So voltage is 4.4, maximum of 4.5. Okay. So we'll remove, we'll lower that to 4.5. And right, yeah, that looks reasonable. For those of you who have been following the saga of the Rover, my car, I finally tracked down one of the little gears, and it's in the post at the moment, coming down from Queensland. Is that going to stay on there? Yeah, it's not very strong though. So I'll be able to put it back together, get the roadworthy for it, register it, and then if it fails again, I'll just disconnect the traction control. I've never felt a traction control on a car come in. So, right, here we go. I think that's all right. So we'll turn our power on. Yeah, and we'll turn the switch on, making sure nothing is shorted against speakers or anything like that. Yep, it's working. I thought the grand final was yesterday. Today is Sunday, isn't it? Okay. Sorry about that. I had my hand in the way. I'm not used to having the camera there. So it is working. Or it was. Ah.
The running double, 6 and 4, $5. And 2J was 136.13. Silver 280, 140. 3 now shelling $1.50. 6 short straw $2 and 4 thin 13. 320 quid other exacta $5.90. Trifecta $4.10. The first 4 $119 for 136.13. Running double 5 and 150. 90, early quantity 4 551 5,200 and 96.50. Now Mornington.
Right.
Numbers are 6, 5.
Well, that does sound better. And it's only one speaker too, and the back of the speaker. Okay. So Now, where else can we easily get to capacitors? We can do this one up here. Up here. Go back to the other camera. We can do this one up here. And that one is... I'll have to take these off. Turned off the power supply. And yeah, this will have to be moved. Don't know why they had that on the side. That's a little bit too short, but okay, we'll put this up over there and we'll see if it hits. It may, in fact, it's going to hit the speaker. Okay, and that's a little bit too close to the board, but that might work. Okay. Yeah, this one up here. A lot of these blue Rubicons in here, which mid-80s, probably okay. So that's a 470 at 6.3. See if I've got one of those. Okay, 470, 16. That's the smallest I've got. And that is much, much smaller than the original. Excuse me. Yes, I was at the garage doing woodwork yesterday, and I didn't wear a mask, silly, and the wind was blowing in. Right. Hang on, this is a 47. Oh, why is everything in the wrong place? It's a 470, wasn't it? Yep. Thought that was far too small. Okay, we'll have a look for some 470s. 470 at 16. Is this what it says it's supposed to be? $47 at 16 in the 470 container. 470, and we've got one left. Yeah, okay. And I suspect they're 470s as well. And that one. Okay. Yeah, 470, 470. And 470, is it? Yep. So... looking at the height of this. There ain't much room in this. No, it's too high. Okay. Not having much luck, am I? This is 610. One of those. 580. Okay. Right. So we can't do these four. And is that 10 or 100? That's interesting, that one. Oh no, there's a few of those. I suspect this radio is alright. There's none of the... It's only 4.5 volts. And that one. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to just clean this up a little bit. I'm not going to take those apart. Wonder if how we get the... Is there any openings in them? 'Cause they're a bit scratchy, but they're all right. They don't come off those sliders. Well, we know it works anyway now. Wasn't working before when I put batteries in it. Yeah. Okay. I don't know what these little tiny black ones are. Oh, 2.2 at 50. Yeah, none of them are bulging or anything. They all look quite healthy. Which doesn't mean they're okay or healthy, but yeah. Come on. Right. Yeah, so they're all, none of them are bulging or anything like that. Come on, focus. That's it. And put my glasses on, I'll be able to see what I'm doing. Yeah, so yeah, none of them are bulging or anything like that. So yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 70s. So that's a 10 there. 10, no, that's not a 10, maybe. Is it a 10? Yep. No, it's 100. 100. The hundreds. 100, 100. 100. These little tiny ones down here. Don't want to half do it. Then have to put it back together again and then take it apart again. But Yeah. It was mostly this one up here I was worried about, where the power comes in. Is that? Yeah, that's quite a bit higher, that one. So I'm hoping that's not going to foul anything. All right. Okay, we'll put that aside for the time being. I'll return to it when I do the big order from Mauser. I'll just leave that there. And we've got an hour or so. So let's have a look at this Toshiba thing. So this is a 1967 or 66, I think, Toshiba. The dial has yellowed quite a bit. Might be able to do something with that. I think I've got the leatherette case for it. Again, this one is not working. Picked this up for about $2 or something at one of the auctions. So let's put some batteries in it. Let's see if it makes any clicking noises or anything. And where's the box batteries? There we go. Right. Oh no, it's the end things. Something rattling in there. Yeah, it's completely dead. Okay. Interesting how the different companies had different colour ribbon for the battery removal. Panasonic had orange ones. Sony, I can't remember which colour Sony had. Right. I've got an antenna. I know it's just an antenna plug on the top there. Where are we? Yeah, so it's just an antenna plug. Now this has been apart before. It's all crushed down there. Where's my spudger thing? Maybe just a coin or the end of the spoon will do it. Is a coin slot. Yep. And then we're stuck up this end. Not having much luck with getting transistor radios apart today, am I? What's up this end? A little clip there. It only is on the white plastic. Don't know. Oh, that's probably for the closing thing. Yeah, that's interesting. It's really burnt. Oh no, it's just the remains of the foam. There we go. So we have model B, HP77, and all the standard things. It's got yucky foam in it, so be careful with that, otherwise it'll be everywhere. We've got this inside. This camera's a little bit dark, isn't it? Maybe it's the white. Yeah. Okay. So this could be transistors, it could be capacitor. Well, that doesn't look like there's any. Oh, yes, there is. There's this big one here. So these plastic molded ones. So I've got a capacitor there, one there, and one there. There's the volume control here. And it's only clicking when it's turned on. A little, got screws there and there, and little nuts there and there, and something bulging under there. Sorry. We've got, yeah, screws there and there, nuts there and there, something bulging underneath this thing. I don't think, does the, yeah, it does. So this is the battery there, so that doesn't need to come off. Although these could hold it to the front. That one definitely needs to come off. And there's a screw down in there too. Okay. And this looks like it's been apart before. Come on. So undo these two down here. Just for simple reason that it looks like these should come out because they're really loose anyway. Yeah, something else, I don't know. So take this screw off. And this one out. Let's on. Come out. There we go. Ooh, okay. An odd shaped speaker. Yeah. Okay. Ooh, that, yeah. These plastic capacitors, and this radio is what, 60 years old? I don't know what the value of that is. 100 or 500, is it? 100. At probably 6.3 or something. Yeah, 6 point something. Be 6.3. Okay. Let's go beyond that one. And inconveniently, it's going to be underneath that dial cord, isn't it? Yeah. So we'll have to pull that back. That's the wrong tape. So it's super fine wires on it. Which will turn this around. So I'm not restringing this one. Right, and I think it was these two here. And should do some, okay. I better check that I've got 100s. At 10. Okay, so yeah, okay, so these are 100 at 10 volts. I do have some 100s at 6.3, but they're tiny. And these are the good Nichicon KT ones. Yeah, okay. Melt that before. That's good. Don't get caught up in the dial. Okay, I'm going to have to pull that back further. It's actually not sticking very well, this. Stick to that. That is actually it. That's that one at the top. One of those two at the top. We'll try it first. And of course it's waxed in as well. Get under it somehow or another. Okay. They love putting wax on these things back in the 60s. And what am I going to wipe this off on? Okay. So these little screwdrivers, they're vessel ones, and they're made in Japan, and they're really, really fine. Come on, focus. Yeah, and that's not the smallest one. This one is absolutely minuscule. So you can get those at Total Tools. I went in there for their mechanics vessel screwdrivers, because they're a composite of resin and wood, and they're absolutely beautiful, but they're very expensive. No, we don't have that one yet, so it must be up there. And Yeah, I noticed those ones, but they are quite expensive screwdrivers, about $30 or something like that, and I bought them about 5 years ago. And the mechanic screwdrivers were about 140 or something. It looks like we've got wire in there. We've got a wire in there. So don't touch that. That's it. And it's almost out. This will probably do 0, but why aren't you coming out? Oh, there we go. Still not coming out. It's re-soldered itself again. Got plenty of hole there. Yep. Wow, yeah. Actually, these are not too badly constructed. They've got resin down the bottom. So it's a purple resin. But this funny brand again, Maroon or something. M-A-R-O-O-N. Okay. Now, of course, this isn't polarized, is it? 100 at 6 working volts. And wow, only 642. So that's got to be a record 6 times the value. So that one is definitely going. So it's a 100 and it measures at 600. Now, I'm just wondering if this is in fact polarized. I guess there's only one way to find out. It's a pity it's not working. So, yeah. Okay. Let's hope that wire is still there. I'll have to flood this. Yep. Good. Right. Okay. Okay. Now we didn't disconnect anything on this, so we'll put some power onto it. Okay, so that's the negative. I think we'll just put batteries in this. I mean, it didn't work to start with, so I don't know whether this is actually going to fix it or not. And this is a 6-volt radio. Right. My glasses back on again. And we'll up the voltage a bit. What do we make this 6? And we'll make our overcurrent voltage 6.1. Didn't like that. 6. No, not 62. How do we get out of this? Enter again. Shift 6.1. Okay, I'll just turn it off. Will that work? No. It's going to memorize it, isn't it? No, okay. So, shift 6.1. I'll cancel that. That's better. Okay. Not a sausage. It's not drawing any current either. Okay. Right. So our next thing is to test the speaker, which is probably what we should have done in the first place, but take this cover off if we possibly can without destroying it. So a little felt or whatever it is, fibre. So we'll just do it on continuity test. So speaker's alright. And that's really been butchered down there, that earphone. Okay. Right. So the other thing is to actually spray the volume control. Get this to, actually we'll chop these off It doesn't really matter if this is a sacrificial capacitor. Yeah. So here's our volume control and switch. Just wondering if it's actually making any sort of contact. Okay. Running out of this, so I'm using it very that word. So I'll put some power back onto it. Shouldn't be touching anything. No sausage again. Okay. How can we check this? It's not drawing any current whatsoever. Wonder if power well, it's dropping the power down somewhat. I know it's on 5 volts still, so that looks right. So we'll up our voltage a bit. So we're on 6 volts. It's interesting. Yeah. So that is that one. Can't get to the switch or anything down there. something on that. Not what we want. Just wondering if it's this volume control. This power isn't getting to the switch. I don't think. Zero volts there. 0 volts there. Zero volts there. And we'll try the other one. 0 volts. So why isn't the power getting to the switch? Take this tape off. It's horrible tape. Not sticky at all anymore. So that goes up to that one. This is a positive ground plane or something silly. Yeah, so we've still got our 6 volts. That should be and nothing on that one, which seems to be connected to the positive of the battery. Right. Yeah. Oh no, that's not connected to that, is it? Oh yeah. So down here, let's see this. Yep. So over here is our positive rail from the battery. So a spark then. And this is the negative, comes off of here. So assume, yeah, that's that one there. And yeah. So I don't know whether we have to connect our positive up to there. We'll try that. No. Still nothing. For those who've just joined us, we have finished work on the Sony stereo thing. It just worked, and I don't have the capacitors to replace the 470s. I'm lacking in. I thought I had some of those actually, but I don't. Now let's have a look here. Is that the positive row? It's got to be the positive because that goes up to this switch. Okay. Back onto continuity. So we'll put our one there and yep. Yep. So we've got continuity up to there. Back to voltage. We'll stick that on there. And we'll measure across there then. So, I don't know whether we can see this multimeter here. Zoom back a bit. Yeah, that's it. So there's our 6 volts. So 6 there. We've got there, and we've got 6 volts there. I can't quite see that, can I? And we've got 6 volts to the body of the switch. I'll try a different earth point. So that goes up to there through this capacitor, which we've just changed. Yep, 6 volts. 6 volts on the other side of the capacitor. 6 volts there. Yep. Seem to have 6 volts right across the set. So the next thing to do is to check. So a yellow wire goes down to underneath there. So that's no good for the moment. So the orange wire goes from up here down to here. That's a 6 volt point. Zero volts there, which is good. Still not drawing any current. And where's the other end of that volume control? So that's green. And we've got down there. So it's 0. Now, turn off the power. And we'll go to ohms. We'll check our continuity from the green wire to the orange and red. So that's open, that's good. Now, I'm going to have to take that. No, it's just there. Okay. So to our green, open. To our red, open. To a negative, open. To our orange and red, to the black, we're open. And to the other red one, we're open, which is good. Why is there no power getting into it? Don't tell me that is actually shorting on there, is it? Get my finger under it and it's not shorting. There's a red wire down there. Of course I've sprayed it all, haven't I? Here's a little stiff brush. I'm going to have to buy some cheap toothbrushes too. Because this one is pretty black, and I'll have to do, won't it? Okay. So that is good. Make this stand up. Just wanted to stand up for a few seconds. I know it's completely out of focus and you focused on the cables, but okay, so that should be connected to that, and that is open. Turn it on, and it's still open. Okay. We've got an intermittent connection there by the looks of it. Right. Bring it over to the other camera maybe. Yeah, not very good, but it'll do. What can I clean that with? Bit of paper. Okay, we've got deoxin on there. Well, it's sounding a bit better. We've got a lot of deoxin on there. I still don't think it's going to work, but if we can clean that off, we'll at least eliminate one trouble spot. Yep. Why is that still continuity? Or why is there still continuity there, I should say? And now we don't have any continuity again. Okay. Still not making proper contact. Can we bend this around a little bit? Without breaking it. Alright, so there's still a gap there. It's sounding a little bit better. Again. So let's try the power again. So it's on. Shut up. So we know we're getting power from the leads. So it's off. No, it's on at the moment. That's off. Still no current draw. No change whatsoever. See if I can show you without disconnecting the camera. Don't know whether you can see that or not. There we go. So our power is on. Okay, so we're switched off now. Switched on. Off. On. Off. On. Yeah. So, it's a bit odd, isn't it? Getting absolutely nothing through. Yeah. So this is that amplifier which I still can't work out. Changed every component in that stage and it's still only just leaking through on the right channel. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Right. So we know that other capacitor was really, really bad. And this one might be the wrong way round, but where's the other two? We've got one here. And one over there. I cannot for the life of me see what value that one is. This one is 10 microfarads or 100? 10 at 3 volts. Okay. Can't see any more electrolytics in there though. Is that a MOV? We've got a MOV up that end. Wonder why they put a MOV in there. Okay. So let's change this one. And we'll see how we go. Okay, so there's the marking on it. Has this other one got a marking? Where did I put it? In the screws, with the screws. Oh, that's right too. I've got this very 1960 Sobel transistor radio from England, and if there's ever a reason why you would change Hunt's cap, excuse me, if there's ever a reason why you would change Hunt's caps, it's this. This is just fallen apart, and that one, the oscillator is not working on it. There's the other capacitor. Now, I wonder if this had... Where's something to scrape that off with? Yes. These are polarized. Can't really tell whether that's negative. It's definitely negative. So negative to that one. Okay. We've got a pen here? No. Okay, I'll work that out later, or maybe now. So I think it went that way, didn't it? No, it went the other way. So our capacitor down there, which we changed, that's the wrong way round. And that isn't the problem at the moment. So this one is what? Again, it's a 10 at 3 volts. So let's have a look for a 10. I did have some 10s before. Is this a? That's a 220. That's 100, and that's a 47. That's 470. So look for a 10. Oh. Okay. So I've got some suntan ones or some Rubicons. And I'm not wasting the Rubicons on this radio. So anything will do. Good. So that one is okay. So negative is facing south. Negative south, and I can see the ooh yuck! What a horrible soldering job. And bodge wires galore. All right. Change this one, then we'll change the polarity of the other one. And then I'll have to go and have some dinner, I think. It's about 20 tons of solder on this. Yeah, so it's along there. And it's quite thick. Yeah. Obviously weren't worried about the cost of solder back then. Yep. So we'll trim this off. And we'll put some, I'll put some on there, but okay. Gee, there's a lot of solder on here. Just want to expose the capacitor lead. Is that actually it there? Or is it? Yeah, the girl who did this Needs a lesson in soldering, I think. This would have been done in the Toshiba factory. So I don't know whether they outsourced these boards back then. Have I done the right ones? Yep, that's that one. Just need to do the top one a little bit. Right. And of course it's all waxed in, isn't it? It looks more like hot snot than wax, but so it was that way. So negative south, negative south. Okay, that's that one, and that's that one. Okay. Now we'll change this one around. Where's my solder wick go? Where did I put that? Just had it in my hand. Can't believe it. Where did I put it? On the floor? No. Where did I put the solder wick? Can't be under there. It can't be under anything, can it? Oh, I see. Yeah, it's stuck to the battery holder. Right. So we'll change this one around. Probably don't need. Oh, I didn't solder that wire on, did I? So we'll do that. Gee, this is a crappy wire. It's super fine. And it's tiny. Yeah, That looks good. Yep, and we'll do the top. Good. Okay. That should have cooked the capacitor. Yeah. Sure did. Good. Now to turn it around. Easier said than done. There we go. And that went into the wax. And that's through. Okay. Yeah. Picked up wax on both of those, but it'll burn off. Hopefully. I was reading a thread on, I think it's Valve Radio or something like that, and started off as a bit of a rant on a silicon chip article, how badly edited it was. But one of the people on it mentioned that when he was a apprentice, the PMG, or Pigs Meat and Gravy, Postmasters General people who used to run the telephone system before it became Telecom Australia and then Telecom and God knows what they call it today. But yeah, he went off to a Telecom, no, was it a Telecom one? Might have been a Telecom one, and learned how to solder properly. And he was saying that NASA soldering techniques, they take a day to do each solder joint because they cannot afford to get any air in the solder. Otherwise, when it goes into space, the solder the air in the solder joint just expands greatly and causes a bit of a pop and an explosion, and yeah, falls off of the connection fails. So I never knew that. I knew they spent a lot of time soldering, but not a day as he suggested. Obviously with this sort of stuff you don't need to worry about such things. So we'll try this and then I'm giving up for the evening. Actually it's still switched on. No, nothing. So it's either that other capacitor there, that seems to be in the RF stage, or a dead output transformer. No, absolutely nothing. I could try it on the oscilloscope very quickly. Where does the other black wire go though? It could be one of these little transformers here. The black wire goes down to there. And the green wire goes to there. Okay, so we'll try it on the oscilloscope and see if we're getting anything. So it might be the earphone or something ridiculous like that. And where's our earth for this one? Okay. Okay. Let it go through all its self-tests. With the older ones, you used to have to wait for the valves to warm up. With the modern ones, you have to wait for them to go through their self-test. And it's the yellow channel, I think. Yep. Absolutely nothing. So I've got that up maximum, and yeah, on, off, and it's not drawing any power either. Okay, I suddenly need to go to the toilet, so I'm going to end this stream before an accident happens, and thank you for watching. And everything like that. So until next week, or until I can do another proper video, goodbye.